The red zone continues to get harder. What's up, guys? It's Owen here. Today we are going to be looking at the cooler stage of the red zone. This is the movie boss portion, and this is stage 3. There's not too much here that's going on that is different from the other stages in this second wave of enemies here, where we have just kind of seen this point where the power creep in enemies is they hit harder, and this one is incorporating a couple more mechanics where Baby and Rildo have like funky stuff going on. Meanwhile, Cooler and Android 13, they just hit really hard. So Android 13, we're doing the Cooler stage here. So you're going to see in this run that we do use items to prevent the damage that we're going to get. And Cooler does a countdown for his super attack. I don't think in this run we'd see it because the last turn, the idea is to make sure that we get the attacks off before he can even think about getting it out. So it's really about getting through that second phase, which can be kind of tough as the enemy is STR, and when you try and bring the physical GT unit, it is tough. Not having the gods here can make things kind of tricky, especially if you saw my previous video. I've been trying to summon for him, I just no luck, so what can you do, right? The mindset is like, you just make an effort. If you do summon a decent bit for him, you don't get him, oh well, I can get him with coins later on, but it sucks, but what can you do? All right. I would equate this to a really, like these beginning portions, to a really easy Super Battle Road stage where they don't hit very hard, like at all, but they can catch you with a super attack sometimes. I don't think it'll kill you, but it'll leave you fucked up, right? Like, you see, like, we lost a little bit of health, but it's nothing that we can't manage, like right now, because when you have 730,000, I think that says, it's a little zoomed out on Premiere when I'm looking at this, but it's either 703 or 733. I guess I'll look in a minute, and we'll see, but over 700,000 HP is the point I want to drive home here. So we don't have too much to worry about in terms of taking damage from these super attacks here, but later on it is possible that we take 500k from a super attack, and that is where things get kind of tricky. So with this last phase being physical, STR units are definitely a viable option in this stage. In the other one, especially in the next one, we have an AGL enemy with 13, so STR Vegito I do end up taking out, because if you've noticed from my Red Zone videos that I basically use the same team for all of them, and the two core components are, well, the three core components are Int Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, well actually the four, so Tech Gogeta, Int Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Physical Super Saiyan 4s, and Physical Vegito Blue. They've basically been in every single run that I put up on the Red Zone, other than the first two stages where we could just go in with hybrids, no item it, and just kind of laugh like, hoo-ha, this is super, super easy. But Akatsuki was like, okay, you guys think this is too easy? Watch this. Now, these stages are going to be some of the hardest for players to complete. Like, I really do feel for the people who have neither of the 200% leader units, because they definitely exist, and free-to-play players that don't have a lot of dupes in some of these units, because this team for the most part is rainbowed aside from the newer side of things, right? Like, every unit except for the 2 Dokkan Fest LRs are rainbowed, so that is where things can get kind of tricky. I'm not saying you need a whole rainbow team to do this. Like, it's definitely like, I probably misplay a few times in here, but it's not the end of the world, right? One thing I could say right off the bat that is kind of a misplay is putting Physical Vegito Blue in that last slot, but the idea is to keep Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta on rotation at all times. So there's really no ifs, ands, or buts about it to me. I'm always going to keep them on rotation because he's too powerful. The nullifying one enemy move, the counter chance, the extra key per everything, the sheer damage numbers they're doing, the active skill, the double active skill, like there's just so much going on, right? There's really no point in not keeping him on rotation always. This one in specific, I had a little bit more trouble thinking of like a solid team build. If you have him 100%, you might be able to get away with 5-year Gogeta Blue, but that is going to be a risky play on your part. If you do bring him, always put him in the 3rd slot, because you need that dodge chance. He just cannot build fast enough in the base form to take any of these hits, right? Yeah, so here's where I make the misplay. I was hoping that maybe Vegito Blue does a triple or quad super, and we end up looking at like way less than that per normal attack, and we end up taking 150k per normal, or 115k. So that is where things get kind of tricky, and you'll see right here, I'm pretty sure we do the triple fusion, right? So I was just talking about how I always want to keep Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta on rotation, right? Yeah, so right here I'm playing around with defense. Who do I want to throw in the front? And I'm like, okay, we're going to throw Vegito Blue in there. And this is all just me thinking of what I want to do, right? Like, I play around with the orbs, and then you notice all of a sudden, oh, there it is. Now we can full heal, and we will see. Do I do the triple fusion? No, I'm going to keep them out for now. I wonder why I did that. It's probably because they link better or something. I don't know. I forget. Like, you know, you kind of, when I get into that recording zone, it's hard to look back and think about what I was thinking. Like, sometimes it's super obvious, like where I put a unit somewhere or do something of that nature. But in this case, I don't really see it. Just keeping these two together, I think, was the thought process that I had. And you'll see here with the crit counter that Cooler's Day is done. So, right here is the last portion. And what makes this interesting is that Cooler does a countdown, right? So it's not just like some random off chance that he doesn't super. It's just there's a countdown for the super. So yeah, we're just playing it safe right here. We're popping an item because we have a 13 or in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta on rotation. So he's definitely going to take a lot of damage that I don't want to take. And I think he double supers right here, so he gets enough raises to the point where it doesn't even matter. And you can see even with an Android 8. And, you know, we're looking at like 270k defense probably for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta right there. And it's still 100 and something thousand per normal, right? So this guy hits really, really hard. So that's kind of the trade-off, right? No super, I'm going to hit really hard. And that's kind of what we're trying to play around here, right? Breaking these guys off rotation, doing all that kind of fun stuff. And you'll see, you know, the countdown right there to the 3. And then I want to say Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta double supers right here, but I might be wrong. But either way, you know, you're seeing this video, so whatever he does, it does work. Yeah, so he does super, and we are near 5 million. That is super effective against all types. So the type disadvantage does not matter right here, as you'll see. Boom. Another quick 2.5 million. We'll take that all day. Yep, so right here, obviously we have double scouter effect going, so we know for a fact that that super is going to be in the 3rd spot. And what we are, this is where the STR Vegito agenda kicks in, right? He's going to do quite a bit of damage with the crit counters right here and protect. Like, he's kind of the shield, right? Like, obviously he's taking a lot per normal, but it's like, okay, let's run that risk and you will protect super or physical VB from taking that super on the end. So you see all these crits, they are just lighting him up. Like, that was 3, I think, right there, so that's 7.5 million damage. Plus, I think that's a 6 million attack stat. That's going to crit too. So boom, 6 million more damage, and then I think another crit counter. No crit counter right there. But it still does take him out with 2.5 million damage. So that was the cooler stage of the red zone. This one was interesting. I think I did it on my 2nd try in this case, but, you know, obviously it's nowhere near the level of the baby stage with the AoE or anything like that. But that's all I got for you. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, turn on notifications so you don't miss out on daily Dokkan content like this, and I'm out.